professionals, we need to begin by admitting that, especially on public platforms such as this. They are shopping baskets and they calculate, they look at what is opportune and they do it. That is why we have seen that once again, apart from ODM, none of the other parties has ever presented itself for more than one election. They always come in a different guise. And even ODM itself has been coming in the guises of different political alliances. Next year's election not being an exception. So let us not lie to ourselves. Let us begin by getting the basic facts right. Thereafter, the rest of our arguments can be sober and can be helpful.
Thank you for making that, giving us that perspective. Go ahead, Herman.
I think I just wanted to point out that the reasons why parties are becoming smaller could be internal party democracy, especially lack of it, the chaos during nominations and so on and so forth. But the bigger problem that is causing the shrinking of parties, really, if you ask me, Wahiga, is coalitions. In come coalitions, out goes political parties. Coalitions are suffocating political parties. You lose your identity, you lose your strength, you lose your power, you subjugate yourself to a coalition. Even ODM, the biggest political party in the country today, is already going to collapse under the weight of Azimio la Umoja. You get it? So it is these coalitions that they are kind of strange coalitions we have in this country before elections. Because the coalitions, when they come after an election, you are trying to form government after elections. And you are sitting together and say, okay, you have the numbers but not sufficient for you to form government. We'll give you the numbers you need so long as you incorporate some of our ideas in running your government. We are a green party. We have an agenda on the environment. We have an agenda on this, on forest cover, etc., on emissions and age of vehicles to be allowed on roads. If you take some of this, we will support you. But this one of ours, I agree with him that in a couple of years to come, there will be no political parties. So we need to go very careful. But again, the reason why we're also having these small parties is not just because, as Barrack says, maybe they are state projects. They could be. But the main reason would be a politician is a person with a third eye. If you are a politician and you don't have a third eye, then you had better forget. The third eye the politicians have, some of them put it here, some foolish ones behind. Now, they have seen how the politics is shaping up. They saw how Ruto came, and they saw where Raila was standing. And they have seen that these politicians, especially Raila, will need them. And for you to be given a seat by Raila in his government, for you to be somewhere in the house, you must come with something. And that explains why some of these parties are coming up. They are coming up because if you came as Amazon Kingi, the best Raila can do is just dangle an assistant minister. What do you call them? Cars. But if you tell him I'm holding the coastal vote through my party, naitwa PA, I am Mwangi Kiunjuri, I am with the TSP, talk to me, my friend, he will listen to you. So it is the way the politics was shaping that is informing the politicians, informing these small parties.
What sort of parliament will we have after next year's election? How many parties will be?
It will be the first parliament after the independence parliament. And I wish to inform people like Raila, if you become president, today Uhuru is being harassed. Let me use the word harassed because English is a difficult language. It may not be harassed, but let me just use it. He's being harassed by the judiciary. The institution that is going to harass the president is going to be parliament. We're going to have a parliament like we've never had before. It's going to be the most vibrant parliament with independent people. Small little parties and independents. It is going to be so difficult running this country as president because parliament is going to be like wild. If you think the judiciary is a problem, wait until you see parliament after next election. It's going to be a tough parliament.
And
because very few parties will marshal the numbers to control parliament. So that the president at State House, as Uhuru has been doing, just a telephone call to Aden Duale, and everything falls in place. Today, the president will be calling only 40 MPs. The rest. So yeah, parliament is going to be tougher than the judiciary. If you are going to be president, if you are Ruto or Raila, prepare yourself for a tough parliament.
I want to ask something from my senior brother. What would a functional executive, or why would a functional executive want to control parliament? Why would the president require a number of parliamentarians if he's doing the right thing? And I want to agree with Herman that the next parliament will be a very functional parliament to the extent that will not be owned by anyone, which is good for this country. Remember, parliament has a role to oversight the executive. The lesser we have a parliament controlled by executive, the better for the common man. Unlike the parliament we had between 2013 and 2017, where the ruling government was boasting of the tyranny of numbers, because they could do anything. And then the tyranny of numbers could save that anything that they would have done. In essence, once members of parliament have been elected, are actually to collectively work in realizing their mandate under Article 94, 95, and 96 of the Constitution. In my opinion, we require a parliament that is functionally independent. A parliament that can stand to the executive and say, even though we were elected on the Democratic Action Party, we are not supporting this bill to increase the VAT, this bill to increase fuel prices, and this and that. We should not have a parliament that is entirely controlled by the president who is in power. We are looking forward to a parliament that can say no, members that can say no to their parties in the interest of Kenyans. Remember, parties are just political identities, but members are supposed to articulate the interests